Hello everybody and welcome to another episode. In today's episode I'm going to show you how to replace the front brake disc along with the front brake pads from any Audi A3, A3 from the year 2011 and up. Right here I have the new brake discs which are made by the manufacturer Bosch, and also the brake pads which I'm going to install on the car are also made by the manufacturer Bosch. I recommend all to try this manufacturer because it's not so expensive and the quality is perfectly fine. So if you also want to replace those parts on your car, I recommend also start doing it yourself because it's very easy. You don't have to struggle and you will only need a normal set of toolbox, which most likely will have a lot of tools inside it, and those tools will help you to start this job from the start to finish. Also, I recommend all to use a jack stand to lift the car up and something to remove the front wheels out of the vehicle. From here, just follow what I'm doing. It's very easy. Those steps which you'll have to follow for this car, for example, are most likely the same for any other models out there. So on this kind of caliper, if you want to remove the brake disc and also the brake pads, you'll have to remove the 2-liter screw which are securing the caliper mounted to the caliper mounting bracket. Then you'll have to remove the 2 bigger screws which are behind the caliper mounting bracket and which are holding it mounted to the suspension parts from the front of the vehicle. After that, you'll have to remove the little screw using a Torx 30 which is securing the brake disc mounted to the hub. Right here you'll have to use a 30mm socket or key to remove the 2-liter screws which are securing the caliper mounted to the caliper mounting bracket. And then if the slide pin it's moving when you try to remove the little screw, you'll have to hold it using a 70mm key, and you'll have to hold it from not spinning around when you try to remove the other nut which is holding the caliper to the caliper mounting bracket. After you remove the caliper from the caliper mounting bracket, I recommend all to not let it hang on the brake line because due to the heavy weight of the caliper, in some cases it can break the brake line or it can damage it, and you don't want this because it will create you more problems in the future. So I recommend all to take a big piece of wire or something to tight the caliper to the front shock absorber or to the front shock absorber spring, like I did right here. After that, we have to check the slide pin from the caliper mounting bracket, and if they are moving freely, like they are doing in my case, you are good to go. But if they are not moving, you'll have to remove them and you'll have to lubricate them very good, and then you'll have to put them back, because in this way you will know for sure that the braking system is working properly and you'll have nothing to worry about it in the future. As you can see, in my case, on this side I have no brake pad wear sensor because I already have it on the right side on this car, and on the right side I already replaced them, and I didn't make the video guys to show you. But for example, in your case, if you have a brake pad wear sensor right here, you'll have to disconnect the connector and you'll have to put the new brake pad and connect it back to the cable. After that, you'll have to remove the caliper mounting bracket, but first I recommend all to remove the little screw which is securing the brake disc mounted to the hub, and then you have to remove the caliper mounting bracket using a 20mm socket. After you remove the caliper mounting bracket from the suspension parts, I recommend all to clean it very good with a wire brush, and only then you'll have to put it back. As you can see, in my case, the brake disc is not coming out because it haven't been replaced in a while, so it's stuck to the hub. And what I recommend all to do is to hammer it with a hammer, or if you have an impact air gun, you'll have to use this impact gun. For example, in my case, I don't have to worry about damaging the brake disc because I'm going to replace it anyway. But if you, for example, want to reuse the brake disc, I don't recommend you guys to hammer it because you can destroy the brake disc and the braking system will not work properly. But in my case, I will have to hammer it, I will have to use this impact gun, and eventually it will come out from the hub. Okay everybody, as you can see, eventually it did come out, so everything is fine. Also, I recommend all to take a wire brush and clean the center of the hub very good, because you want to have a clean surface when you're going to install the new brake disc back on the car. After you clean the center hub very good, I recommend all to take some copper paste and spray it over the center hub, because in this way it will prevent the new brake disc from getting stuck in the future when you'll have to work with it again. After that, you can go ahead and install the little screw which is securing the brake disc mounted to the hub, and then you'll have to install the caliper mounting bracket back on the hub. Also, I recommend all, like I told you earlier, to clean the caliper mounting bracket very good, and only after that you can go ahead and install it back on the car. After you are done with installing the caliper mounting bracket on the car, in my case, I always like to spray just a little bit of copper paste over the metal part which will be in contact with the brake pad, because in this way it will prevent the brake pad from getting stuck in the future. So this is only the way I like to do it, but if you don't want to do it like this is perfectly fine. After that, you can go ahead and install the new brake pads back on the car, and then you'll have to put everything back together as it was before. Moving forward, the next step which we have to do is to push the piston from the caliper back into the caliper. And to do so, you'll have to use a special press like this one. You can find this on any auto parts store. And using this tool will help you to push the piston back into the caliper very easy and fast. Also, one more thing which I recommend all to check before starting pushing the pistons back into the caliper is to check the brake fluid reservoir from the engine compartment, because if, for example, the brake fluid is at the maximum level, when you will want to push the piston back into the caliper, it will push the fluid which is already into the caliper, it will push it back into the reservoir from the engine compartment, and in some cases it will make it overflow the little reservoir. So you'll have to check it. If it's too much, you'll have to remove it using a syringe, and after that you'll have to check it to be at the maximum level, and then you can go ahead and remove or push the pistons back into the caliper on any side of the car. Okay everybody, so as you can see, I'm done with replacing the brake pads and also the brake disc on this car. This is the final product. This is all I have to do. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video and found it informative, please leave a like and a comment down below. See you next time.